Hey Rudy, thank you so much for the sound effect drop. I thought I would run you through them real quick, so you have an understanding what the outcomes are, right? So I took a look at the directory and the files that you gave me, and I mapped them to the weapons. And yeah, so let's take a listen. All right. So I think I like the direction that the top weapon, the laser, is kind of going. As a reminder, let me turn this down a little bit. I feel like I'm yelling over sound effects. We'll also want to at some point do a pass on the impact sounds. They could be generic, but they're probably better energy wise if a laser kind of matches a laser or whatnot. So you can see that here. This is like the enemy ship, and you can hear it goes dut dut dut. Yeah, cool. I added, let's see here, this is the energy cannon. So that's the energy cannon. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, 1 second. All right, let's see, energy cannon. Okay. Yeah, so the energy cannon, I added the energy charge up sound effect. So this is the little sparklies that are charging up before the missile, the energy missile does its thing, right? And then on the energy cannon side, I added the right here, the energy green shot wave. So that's what this sounds like here. And sometimes if you catch it in the wrong time and the loop isn't clean, if that happens, you just close it and reopen it. But yeah, you can get a sense here in the weapon room. So I think the medium rocket sound doesn't quite sound like a rocket. It sounds too energy based. Right? And so that's probably the bit of feedback for you there out of all the sound effects that were delivered. And then here, that's the, we just noted this as the tracker missile. So I'm going to undo that, turn that on. Yeah. So yeah, so I think the sound effect isn't bad. I think we can use it somewhere, but yeah, some food for thought on that as well. And then let me see. Let me just run you through the rest of these. All right. So we took a look at those. And of course, nothing for the bottom laser sound quite yet. I just mapped something that we had in engine. Sounds good. I really like the multi shot. I thought that sounds pretty good there. That's a cacophony at the moment. Yeah, nothing there. Ah, here we go. I like the ring charge up sound. That sounds pretty neat. And I added the big missile to these as well. I think, and here's the quad shot. And then I'll continue adding. I think adding those to the top shot where they're multi and directional. So because you can see the progression here, a little bit different with this ring one here. That's gonna be interesting. That'll be fun too. This one here. Yeah, none of these will be good fun to replace. So, but just to give you a sense. All right, cool. All right, so what I'm gonna do. So that was the one thing is let's iterate on the missile shot. I think we need a more traditional like like a missile. I don't know, charge up in a whoosh maybe. So okay, so that's that. Very, very cool. Thank you so much for the first drop of those. I'm gonna have fun playing with those. I think over the course of the next playtest. So, with that being said, I wanted to quickly run you through. So I'm gonna pack up the project for you. And I think what you need to do, let me go ahead and close Shmup Creator. I didn't save it, I didn't have anything there. So is when you open Shmup Creator, and this should work for you. So, all right, cool. So you come on up here to load or create game. And what you want to do is you want to create a new game. So my new game. Actually, what you want to do is you'll want to create your game as DBK, but for illustrative purposes. So I'm just saying my new game. To and then what you're gonna do, make it check horizontal, and then you're gonna load your new game. You have to load it at least once, I think. I don't do this very often. Okay, and I think it's totally fine to just straight up do this. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and maybe so I'm gonna close that. So now in your game directory, under your path, so your path will be under documents, there's Bulo Studio, and then games. So here we have a directory. So this is our game project directory. It's DBK in this case. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack this up. And so you can see basically all the files here. And then you're going to unpack that. You're going to copy that. And then you're going to go to, you'll name the game directory the same thing. And then you'll just simply do a copy and paste over, because if you see here, my new game. So you have basically assets, game box, levels, and then it's the name of the project. So that's why it's important to make it DBK. And you just want to copy everything over the working directory. All right. So with that, then you want to open up Shmup Creator. You want to then go to it might be on loading your games from your game manager, but it should say DBK or DBK Shmup here if it's reading the file correctly. If not, just try it anyways. And then you can go into, for instance, if you get the levels, so you can have the weapon room. That's what you probably want. All right, cool. And when you're in this space, if you open up the game drawer, the game box drawer, you can click on Reveal and Explorer. And here, this will give you the game directory. So we'll come back up to Assets. Under Assets, there is a folder called Sounds, Sound Effects. And then here, you can see basically these are all the loose files. So you can see the ones that we already added here. This doesn't give you access to all the ones that come from the other asset packs. I can still try to hunt those down, but I think we're going to replace them anyways or get close. I mean, why not have our own fingerprint? And then from there, all you have to do is when you want to add a file to the engine, basically just copy and paste your file into this game directory. For instance, if I want to make, I don't know, default rocket, super fun, just name it something. Every file has to be unique. No surprise there in the game engine. So don't name things the same way. Otherwise, bad things will happen. And then you flip back into the game engine. So you can see it's basically importing the new asset, updating the assets. I got a fairly big project, so it's a little bit slower. And then at this point, you can click on at any point, but you can click on the player object, so the ship. And then you can come into manage weapons. There's the weapon editor. Boop. And then here, it brings you into essentially each of the weapon sets. And you can see kind of as I've been interacting with those, what those look like. So, so you have two things. So one is, for the most part, all of the, again, P is for player, B is for bottom, and then the name of the weapon. All the bottom weapons all have a charge up sound effect. So that's just something just to be aware of. So you can see here under warm up, there's the energy charge up sound. And the way I get, so you can get a sense for that. And then the other thing that's important to know is, so if you click on the weapon, you gotta make sure you've clicked on the weapon because you can have the wrong side. It doesn't matter. You can essentially have a visibility tag changed and still be in the wrong weapon. And if you come over to bullet, actually, if you come over to visual and sound effects, then you can essentially, under the locator shot, you can add a sound. So you can see here, and then I think, what did we, here we have the default laser, but you can see the default rocket super fun wave. So it'll be in there. If you run into any issues, just close the engine down and then relaunch it. If you get in a place where sound effects continue to loop and you can't get them to turn off, just close the weapon editor and then open back up. All right, that should give you the opportunity to iterate through a bunch of the sound effects from your side. Like I said, I'll copy the project up, zip it, and that way you'll have all of that. I'm really looking forward to the next round of iterations. So I'm also going through and normalizing all of the volumes because you can set them in Engine to 1. I've left the pitch shifting at, in here, just to show. I've left pitch shifting generally at pitch variation at 0.10. So you can, but before we play with anything else, so I'm just going through as I'm starting to clean things up here. So just to give us kind of a kind of normalized starting point. But I think keeping pitch variation in, and the cool thing is you can tweak and tune these numbers to something you enjoy, and then we can iterate back and forth. And you can just let me know what the numbers are. All right, I'm excited. We're doing sound design. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Thank you very much.